Hello, everybody. Welcome to Colonist Con 2022. For the second year in a row, I am your host, Vamos719. I guess I did a good enough job last year where Colonist decided to invite me back to host again. So very appreciate them for them having me host Colonist Con again for the second year in a row. If you don't know who I am Vamos719. I play Colonist a lot. I stream a lot, so please check me out on Twitch TV. / Vamos719 Gaming. I stream a lot of Season Nights content, and also some base content, but mostly Season Nights too. I've been running a league called Quackfest, Quack. It's mainly Season Nights, so I do that. But also I am a 2-time U.S. national qualifier. I've been to U.S. nationals for Catan in the past 2 years, in 2021, 2022. I've finished 19th and 20th. So I've finished top 20, but didn't get the main prize. But yes, so I've been playing a lot of but also I'm a pretty avid user of Colonist. Probably every day I seem to be playing either base or Season Nights on Colonist through a Discord server or through auto matches whenever I get home. Just like it seems like my it seems like I just I play Colonist whenever I get home. So let's talk about what Colonist Con is all about. Colonist Con is a showcase of what's exciting right now with Colonists. And we're also going to be featuring some of the talent that's out there in the competitive Catan scene. We will be having 2 panels today. The development team, they're here today to talk about all the new features that were implemented in Colonists this past year. We're talking about MMR and the subscription model. Those are like the 2 big things I've seen. So we'll be talking about that. And we'll be also having a competition panel too. We'll be featuring Colonist pros such as Delighted, Raina, Donnie, and Sparrowhawk. And they'll be talking about the competitive Catan scene and talk about what content will be done. So it's really cool for them to come along and talk about like those 2 things, especially like the Colonist scene with the different discords out there with say Catan community, Catan championship, and King of Catan. That scene has been really growing. So they'll be coming down to talk about it too. So after the Colonist team talks, we'll be also having giveaways, coin giveaways too. So guys, after the Colonist team panel, stay tuned for stick around and we'll be giving away some coins for you guys. So you get some really cool you guys can get really cool stuff too. Like you can finally get that mystic blue color if you want. like I said, get the purple and mystic blue colors, or that cool map that you want, or even the expansions as well. So guys, stay tuned for that too. So but let's go on to the next panel. We'll be bringing the Colonist team. So let's bring them in right now. So hope you guys having a great day tonight. Thank you guys for watching too. I know there's a lot of Colonists actually. We got a bunch of tournaments going on too with the Season Nights tournament, Catan community, and the base tournament, huge base tournament at Catan Championships now. So I'm gonna bring the team on. So let's bring on the team here. So we're gonna bring on the team here real quick. So technical difficulties here. There we go. So here comes the team. All right. So here's the Colonist team. Guys, show off your cameras as well. There you go. There's everybody showing off their cameras here. So here, let me bring up my camera as well. So, all right, guys, we have the Colonist team here. So, guys, these are the guys working behind the scene, make Colonist a great product for you guys here. So guys, if you can introduce yourself one by one. So starting off with Demi. Okay.
I work mainly on the backend, operations and marketing sides, and lately I've been focusing on growing our team. Jeff?
Hey guys, I'm Jeff. I'm sure you guys have seen me around the Discord. I've been primarily working on trying to get you guys some great features. Some of them were the expansions and the most recent rank system. So I've been trying to choose the right features and execute.
And I'm Simon. I work on all things marketing with Colonist. So anything you see on the blog, that's most likely been me. And then a lot of things behind the scenes that you probably don't see regarding to like the site and stuff like that.
And Debbie, real quick, do your introduction again. I unfortunately had the VC muted, so can you do your introduction again, real quick?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Demi, co-founder. I'm mainly responsible of front-end development code, as well as UI UX and the product decisions and what goes in, what goes out, and what decisions we make. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Let's bring it to Goku because we're gonna talk about the start of Colonist too. Talk about like how Colonist was founded and like the different versions that you had to do, the different iterations.
Yeah,
So explain that.
sure. Before getting into that, I want to mention a bit about the rest of the team who's not here. We couldn't have everyone here. It would be a bit crowded, but we have a whole team working on Colonist and trying to bring the highest quality game to you guys. So apart from these four people here, we have Juan who's working and making sure the product is at the highest quality possible. We got Sam who's been working for a year and making sure the design of Colonist compared to 2 years before ago, it's very high quality right now. That's all thanks to Sam. And Myla, she's answering all your support emails, calls, Discord, problems, bugs, whatever you need. She's there to help you out. Omar's been working on the back end. He's made the pause feature. He fixed a lot of problems with logins, sockets, and working on the back end side. Logan joined a few months ago. He's working on the front end development, improving a lot of the problems we had, fixing a lot of bugs, optimizing the front end. We have Alex, who's also doing the same, working on the front end. And we recently hired Mao. He's going to be another full stack developer. And we have Sebastian, who's working on the sound. So we're adding new sound effects, new music, new dices, and and we have other freelancers, other community members, and content creators we work closely with who are not part of the team, but we see them as part of the Colonist community, the Colonist team, and we have such as you, Wasmos. So we have a huge team behind the scenes working on Colonist. Just want to call everyone out at the start and going to your original question of what about the past, like how it was founded. Me and Demi we are brothers. We used to play Catan every week with our parents, and and at when we're not playing, we wanted to practice, and we try to practice online. And all the versions they kind of sucked. Like we didn't want to play them. So we as the like arrogant programmers we are, we were like, okay, you know what? We could build a better one in 2 weeks. You know, like all these companies who's like spending millions of dollars. Yeah, we could build one in 2 weeks. That's why we got into this with, and we did. We did make something in 2 weeks that was black and white. It had horrible user experience. It was filled with bugs. It was laggy. It sometimes crashed. The whole server crashed. Sometimes your game crashed. But it kind of worked. And some people liked it. Like when we posted on Reddit, some people liked it enough to be saying, "Oh, this is actually better than the other competitors in these senses." So we started getting players to come over and choose our platform instead of the other platforms, and we've grown to like 3K concurrent online players. We get 1 million a monthly active users playing our game. We have more than 50,000 up to maybe 90,000 daily games played on the site, and it's such a great honor to be serving with such a product.
That is amazing. 1 million users from where you guys started. That is an amazing accomplishment, I would say.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's funny. I remember reading articles about it, and I don't know if it was Demi that said like, "Oh yeah, like I played the online Catan, like online options. Oh, they all sucked." I remember reading that in an article one time. So
Yeah. That we played, we tried all of them, and we were like, no, like I would rather code my own than to play this
that's
garbage. So
that's a programming like mindset. Like if you think you could
yeah,
do it better, like you could probably code it too.
yeah,
But it's so interesting you say that because I feel like now Colonist is like the main like I said outlet for like I don't want to say it, but like they play Colonist more than like other platforms. People talk about it way more in other platforms. I see like in the
yeah.
Discord servers. It's crazy how much like it's being used compared to like the official. Like
Yeah,
it's
definitely. Colonist is played way like on the web and desktop. It's played way more than any other, like all the other competitors combined. It's way more than that. And this is only like the beginning. So Demi will talk more in detail about our future platforms and
yeah.
plans. But currently, we have captured the the most of the market of desktop Catan players, basically. And we even have a lot of people who played physical board game, and they choose not to play the physical board games, and they open their laptops, they open their phones, and they're in the same room, they play Colonists because it's much more convenient, it's faster, it's easier, and these are such great stories. We get screenshots, pictures of these games like every single day. Some players contact us and say, "Hey, this is what we played," and it's such fun. It's fun to see these happening.
No, great to hear. Yeah, like I said, you don't have to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes setting up the board too. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it's like the convenience part too. Um, let's talk about how like did COVID really accelerate the growth of Catan like during the time of 2020? Did that accelerate it?
Yeah, COVID definitely had a huge impact on the growth of our platform, and it probably like accelerated as at least 1 year. So we used before COVID, like before the start of COVID, we had maybe 100 to 200 concurrent users playing the game. And in a few months, that increased to like 9,000 at peak, 9,000 concurrent players. And we couldn't, like, our servers couldn't actually support it at that time. Every single day, the servers were crashing. We were trying to make sure it scales up. Whenever we increase the server capacity a bit more, there was a whole bunch of like 500 more users came in and crashed it. So COVID uh, did a huge impact on our traffic.
Yeah, that's like 500%. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the present. Last year we talked about like I think talked about the Cities Knights expansion, the Seafarers expansion, and we did mention like the ELA system was in the works now, and now it's come with MMR. So I think MMR and subscription have been like the two biggest features that I've seen colonists implement in the past year. So you guys talk about just like the process of developing MMR and descriptions, just a response of how people have played with the MMR and descriptions. So.
Yeah, so I can jump in and talk a little bit about the MMR. So yeah, I sat here about a year ago saying, "Oh yeah, the next thing we're going to be launching is ranked play. Like that'll be out in a few months. Everyone will be able to play on the leaderboards." And then it obviously ended up being a much bigger challenge in the few months of work. So to take it all the way back, I mean, we wanted to start by making something people actually wanted to play. We wanted people to be able to sit there, play some ranked games, get a ranking, be able to show off to their friends, get a standing, and we want to make sure to get it right. So we started off by looking at what was out there already. I mean, the most basic form of ranking is just simple ELO. So just to explain it to the audience out there, the general idea is everyone has a rating, and then if you win against someone that's of higher rating than you, then you earn more points. If you lose against someone that is higher rating, then you earn or you lose less points. So then the way to climb the leaderboards is to beat people of higher standing. We didn't want to go with a straight implementation of ELO for a few different reasons. One of them is that it's a bit archaic and that it takes a very long time to converge. And the other one is just we didn't think it was the right algorithm because it was designed originally for a one-on-one game where only 2 people are playing, whereas Catan is a 4-player free-for-all. So that's why we made the switch to the MMR system. And there's a few things we wanted to address. So we looked at what more mainstream AAA title games are using as their method for ranking. And one of the very easy implementations is just to create a system that actually swings your skill a bit more at the beginning to help you converge to your rank faster. Because in a standard ELO system, it takes upwards of 100 games just to converge to your rank, which is a pretty big downfall of that system. So we've implemented a more placement game style system, which is what you'd see in games like League of Legends or Apex or other games of that nature, where you swing more at the beginning to help converge to your rank and then get to your standing faster. So that's why we have the 10 placement games at the beginning of every season. And so far that seems to have been working pretty well. But fast forwarding to season 2/season 3 that just launched yesterday, some of the problems we've been seeing with season 2 especially is that system works great. You converge to your rank faster, but then it's also a bit buggy in that you could do really, really well in your 10 placement games, shoot up the leaderboards, and then sit at your standing and then just not play another game and finish the season with 10 games played and it's the top of the leaderboards. So that's the biggest problem we didn't anticipate with the system having launched it, and it was an obvious problem as soon as the season went live. So we actually did a bit of overhaul between the season 2 and season 3, and we looked at what other games have done to solve this problem. And one of the best examples is actually the League of Legends system, where you have your MMR in the background or matchmaking rating, but that value is never displayed. So that value is used to match you of players of similar skill so that you can always have a fair fight and it's a fun game and you're not always playing against new players. But then there's a separate league point system, which is what players are actually ranked with on the leaderboards. And that's the publicly displayed value that actually ranks you on the leaderboards. And what that achieves is it allows us to have some kind of memory from the season before. So you're not completely reset at the beginning of every season. But then you actually do need to play a bit more than 10 to 15 games just to climb to the top of the leaderboards by decoupling those two values. So we're keeping a close eye on it. We want to see how season 3 performs differently from season 2 and if we've helped solve that problem. And then moving forward, things we want to implement in the MMR/leaderboard system is we'll probably introduce some form of point bleeding for the top players sitting at the top that aren't being active. We also want to include subdivisions. So for example, like Bronze 1, Bronze 2, Bronze 3, so that there's more ranks to work your way through and you're not stuck at your silver rank for months on months. And yeah, it will probably also be keeping an eye. We have seen some players are reporting that players are quitting or being toxic. So we're also keeping an eye on that and how that evolves in ranked play, because we all know people take ranked games a lot more seriously.
Oh yeah, there are some people that say some things that probably shouldn't be. That probably shouldn't. They'll be captured by the Colonist filter. Yeah. So, but going with Elo, like Elo and the MMR, that's kind of hard part. I feel like for you guys, you have to balance like how many people like how many people like play your games more, because like you said, that's a problem when like people play 10 games and they stop. That's a problem for you guys. But also we have like competitive players there too that have been like, for like especially like the Elo system, like we want a fair Elo system. Like we don't like having people play for second. For like I've seen those complaints all the time. Like they want like just a winner be rewarded. So that's such a balance of trying to figure out like the right Elo system balance for you guys and the players.
Yeah, so that's something we also wanted to address between season 2 and season 3. And now the way the season 3 system is working is that you've won or you've lost. You do gain, or the amount of points you lose for a loss is slightly adjusted by the MMR differences between the players, but a loss is a loss. There's no difference between fourth or second place. If you were to finish second place in that game or fourth, you would have lost the same amount of points. So that's something we've addressed in the third season, and we're going to see how that performs differently from previous seasons. But we do definitely need to keep an eye out because it's very clear that our hardcore audience doesn't want an algorithm that prefers second because then it promotes kingmaking. But then at the same time, we also do have a lot of casual players that just intuitively, when you start playing Catan, you think like, oh, I finished second. Like, why am I not being rewarded more than fourth place? Like, that's a bit demotivating as a new player as well. So there's this balance to strike between what hardcore players want and what our casual audience wants as well. So we're definitely going to monitor the performance between season 2 and season 3. We're not sure if we've gotten it right yet, but we're definitely striving for the perfect system.
It's a never evolving process, and I don't think you can make everybody happy. I think that's just the tough part about developing like the perfect ecosystem, especially in a game like Colonist, which is 4 players, where most ecosystems are developed with 2 players. So that's always a very hard part, I think. With
from the very beginning, we wanted to make sure that second place could never earn positive ELO or MMR. So we made sure that was true from the very beginning because we saw what happened with the other platforms, but we definitely want to tweak it from there to make sure we find the balance.
At least you guys are recognizing or evolving. Some platforms are just being steadfast with their ELO system. Well, that's very appreciated. But also let's move on to subscriptions too. Like you guys implemented subscriptions too. Like you guys made a blog post about like why you had subscriptions too, and it's been talked about a lot within the Colonist community. So can you talk more about the subscriptions?
Yeah. So the main idea behind the subscription is that we wanted to give players the ability to. At first, we thought the subscription system would work well with the rank play, and that we could get players to subscribe and enter the rank system. But of course, we launched that, and it did not go as we originally planned. So we listened to the community and rolled it back. But overall, it's just a way for us to continue expanding. As we get more users entering the site, we want to make sure that we can continue providing new features that players will actually pay for and continue wanting to use.
Yep, and good. And let's talk about that feature. So, you guys. Demi mentioned you guys have some exciting stuff going on in Colonist. So, guys, can you explain more what might be in the future of Colonist?
So I can talk more about it. So the previous year we handled the expansions. This year we made like the friends feature, we made the MMRs, leaderboards, ranks, and all of that. So the platform is like, I would say it's becoming more mature. There's still a lot of things that we haven't added. Like, when I go to future upvotes, I see like open-ended trades, dice that's live. There's all these other stuff that the players want us to add. But then when I look at the top, it's like the majority of the players, they want a mobile version. And well, that's what we're gonna do next year. That's our main goal, and we're gonna get the whole team to work on the mobile. And what's gonna happen is mobile version will not be out in like 1 or 2 months. Maybe the alpha version will be. Maybe January, February, it will be out. But whenever we say this, it usually ends up being postponed a couple more months. We overestimate our skill and underestimate the challenges. So the alpha version means it's just out and it's not optimized, but people can still play, and there's some stuff out there. And then the beta will come, but then actual mobile, the complete version and such, will probably be out in at least 1 year, 1.5 years. That's our estimation. And what's gonna happen is when we launch mobile, when we release mobile, we'll see our user base slowly or maybe fastly like increase. So we're expecting 4 to 10 times increase in our user base. So this means 4 to 10 times increase in toxicity, 4 to 10 times increase in server costs, and like there's a lot of stuff that we need to optimize when it comes to like that much people asking questions, that many people like bothering each other, that many other people, other platforms messaging us, asking stuff from us. And yeah, it's it's gonna be like another challenging ride, but then that's what we're getting ready for. That's why we're now 10 people, just like Goku said, and that's why we're still hiring more people. Like our headcount is not enough to launch a perfect mobile platform in 1 year. So that's why we're still hiring. We want to add a product manager, a designer, an analyst, and a QA tester, or maybe multiple of these, and more developers, of course. So if you guys like anyone who fit any one of these, we think you can figure out these positions, or you have friends who can come and join, would like to join us. Feel free to apply, send us emails, we'll get back to you. So yeah, that's what's waiting for us in the next year, mainly mobile. And once we do that, we're probably going to become a mobile first product, which,
Okay.
well, it makes sense because, like, right now 85% of the games are played on the browser, and 15% are played on tablets or mobile, like any mobile devices or phones. But then that's going to flip. It's going to be like 95% played on phones and tablets, and then 5% played on the desktop. So once it becomes like that, then it will make more sense to put more resources into mobile and make it even better. Of course, we don't want to. We always want to make sure that the web part is up to date as well. But then that's where we're going. That's how we see Colonist evolving into a mobile company. And yeah.
It's crazy because like I've always used Colonist on a computer browser, especially for like competitive reasons too. So like this shift to mobile is just very radical for me. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Oh, there's one thing, like these are all estimations, right?
Yeah.
Will our player base actually increase 10x? We don't know. Maybe it'll just double when we switch to mobile. Or maybe it'll increase like 20-30x because of the multiplayer nature of Colonist, where one person, like, it's people tend to invite each other and it creates a network effect, and mobile will make that easier. So it's really hard to say how much it will be until we release the alpha version. Then we'll have better ideas on the numbers and what will happen, and then what our directions will be towards. Right now, we're just getting ready for anything big, so that we don't end up like the servers down because of lots of players or other problems. Yeah.
That's like I say, you're expecting the shift to what people are gonna play more, and it is true. People play more in their mobile phones, so I'm very excited to see how is that gonna develop. Is it gonna be like kind of like, are you gonna develop Colonist through a different kind of like platform for mobile than you do with for your web browser, or are you trying to do it like on top of your web browser?
Well, the code base is gonna be the same.
Okay.
Since we wrote everything in TypeScript, it's like the UI and everything is going to be the same. We're going to componentize all of the assets, all of the classes, the base layers, and then in mobile, like we're not going to show chat and logs, but they'll be hidden under a button, for example. So there will be like some changes in mobile versus the browser. So it's gonna be the same game. It's gonna be the same thing, but then a little bit more optimized for mobile.
Okay, sounds good. So, all right, so let's move on to some Q&A questions, guys. So, there's been a pigeonhole link shown in chat too. My bad for misspelling pigeonhole as a command, but let me put in the command right now. So this pigeonhole link right here, is you guys could ask any questions that we could do in comments. Like some of you guys, I see you, Brian, Kelly C, putting some questions down there in the pigeonhole chat here. But yeah, guys, at this moment, you guys can ask any question. We'll say questions for the Colonist team out here that for you guys to answer. So let's go for what Kelly C asked here. are there any plans to add more to the stat side? Being able to go into games, stat versus friends. There's more ways to get deep into games. Is there anything in the works for that?
So that's actually the top third's most suggestion features, specifically Dice Stats Live. But there's also other stat related requests our players have made in the suggestion platform, and they're constantly emailing us, and we're in the Reddit's Discord. We're getting this. This is a common request that we get, and we definitely do want to implement this at some point, but currently our highest priority is mobile, and that is the most requested feature. We're going to focus completely on that, and we'll probably do it after like fixing mobile and fixing optimizing trading. After those projects are done, we'll probably come dive deeper into stats, make it more like give detailed stats, keep detailed history, maybe replays. We don't know the details of how it's going to be, but we'll start exploring what more we could do with the stats, data, how our servers can and databases can handle these games, because every single game, there's like so many, like thousands of games. We can't even keep track of all the data. You can't even keep track of all the moves that players made. It's like too much data to store. So we need to find ways to optimize that. It's not an easy feature to do, actually. It looks easy. Oh, add a stats to the end. And the end game stats, that's very easy. Like we just show the people, we display it, and it's not saved anywhere, like the details. But once you get into more replay, saving moves, it becomes a really hard technical problem to even store that much data.
I imagine
so this project, it's not as simple as it sounds, but we definitely want to do it.
I imagine you have to buy like a huge database cluster to handle all of that data.
Yeah, multiple database clusters just to be able to hold that.
That's you become like a tech company. You become like Oracle or Google, something like that. So that would be a big task. So I guess so there's a question like, what is the two biggest updates Colonist is working? So it's basically like you guys said, mobile, and is it stats or is it something else?
The other big one that's being worked on right now is translation. So it's kind of along the vein of opening up the doors to as many users as possible. Obviously, mobile is one of them, and then the other one is translation. People enjoy playing the game in all languages, and currently we only support English. So hopefully that will help us expand as well.
I agree, because that's actually a problem during games or for non-English people. Like I do find sometimes, like when I play games with them, their English comes off as like pretty brutal or like very harsh, and like that could actually like affect the tone. So like that could hurt them. So that's actually really interesting. You guys are doing it. I think that really helps for like the non people who don't have English as their main language. That is, I think that's really helpful. Brian Kelsey, he has another interesting question. How is Colonist working to highlight new content creators and growing the community through social media and marketing? So this is a question for you, Simon. Here.
Yeah, I can take that. So I mean, that's really a lot of what my job is right now, is trying to figure out how we can best make Colonist make it like really a new wave in online gaming on YouTube. There's already a lot of live streaming on Twitch, and really just trying to make that as big of a market as possible, and like use that to really like teach more people about. Obviously, we want people who already know Catan to start playing online because we offer such a better experience, but also there's like infinite amount of people who don't even know about the game at all. And so how can we make it as entertaining to watch on our end, like on the back end, make the game as entertaining to play and watch. And then on the social media end, how can we best incentivize people to start making videos? So on that end, that's actually been like a very pleasant surprise of the MMR system and ranked. So credit to Jeff there. That like creating a ranking system from that has brought in like a new wave of YouTubers primarily. Like I've been a devout watcher of like Hakuna Matata, Delighted, all of the YouTubers who many of you know. But in recent days, I've noticed like all kinds of new creators who I start seeing come up my YouTube. Just to name a few, the Phantom Catan, I've been really enjoying his videos. Catan Blunders is very, very entertaining, and new creators like this are really what are going to enable the space to grow. So anyone who wants to, any of you watching, I would implore you that like if you've been trying to get to a certain rank, say you're trying to get to the highest bracket in MMR, or you're trying to get even from bronze 3 to bronze 2, like share your journey there. Like everybody has a very unique perspective, unique personalities, and we'd love to see you create content and post it out there to help Colonists grow and to help you create a personal brand. Like it creates a lot of value for us because of how much value it creates for the creators themselves. And in terms of incentivizing, what I will say is we don't have obviously we can't guarantee anything, but when we see people creating valuable, differentiated content, like we will reach out and offer you, whether it be coins or a subscription or some other way. Like we really want to foster a relationship with the content creators in our space. And so if you make the content, we will come. You can expect me to reach out if I see that you're consistently making good content that's really additive to the space.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like Hakuna Matata, Delighted, those are like the big YouTubers. But like, I think that's what Delighted mentioned in the last Colonist Con. Like, I was hoping for like some type of like MMR to basically do like a elo grind. That's like that's a common phrase that amongst like Catan, like competitive people. It's like, oh, I'm part of the elo grind, that stuff. So now we have that, and like you said, like now these YouTubers are coming out of nowhere to post about their mostly MMR grind, as you can say. So but that's really cool for you guys, because like it's more people showing your content, just more people like showing the stress of trying to win the game. I'm trying to make sure you get up to the leaderboard, but also not try to lose MMR too. So that's what I think is the biggest effect of MMR, like you said with you.
For sure. And
do you also think like Twitch is also a main like outlet too for people trying to grind as well?
Absolutely. I mean, the two platforms work hand in hand. Often, like YouTube videos, whether they like are open about it or not, are just kind of condensed versions of, or like highlights of people's Twitch streams. So even in preparing for this event, for the Colonist Con, I was on Twitch a lot, and I would always see like almost all hours of the day, there's people who are active streaming Colonists on Twitch. And we love that as well. Like just creating as, obviously, like it's fun to watch the videos that are highlights and you see these crazy wins. But in terms of like, if you're trying to watch to become a better player, you're always going to learn the most by just watching really good players on Twitch, watch them explain their thinking behind certain moves, watch them just like going about the game. So for learning purposes, I think Twitch is probably like the best platform.
Okay. I think the most interesting Twitch stream I've watched in terms of Colonists is somebody playing Colonists in a hot tub. That was probably the most interesting stream I've seen. So maybe people aspire to play Colonists in hot tubs.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how we Wolves who did that.
Any way you can really like make your content more interesting, we're all here for it.
Yeah, exactly too. Like I'm doing Quackfest too with Season Nights. So guys, please check me out, Twitch TV, Common719. Let's go to the next question. Simple question here by somebody anonymous. Custom boards, please. Pretty please. I actually do wish there was custom boards.
Yeah.
Jeff can answer that.
I mean, the quick answer to that is that's a pretty big feature. I mean, you need to think of what needs to go into that. We need to be able to save the maps on our server. We need to be able to create a map generator, so a whole UI to create that map. So long story short, it's not on our priority list, but we definitely know it's something people would use when and if we implement it.
I think that would be big for like tournaments as well, because like tournament organizers can like think of a board for tournament aspects and like do with like and implement that for like a finalist, semifinals. Like it is kind of does create less work, but like I think for like for a finals board, like you grind it so hard, you went 4-0, and then you get fourth pick, and then there's like a 6-5-9, or we sheep spot for first or something like that. So like, yeah, that'll be something cool if but like I said, it's a lot of work that needs to be done for that. Let's see. Not anonymous. So they say, thank you so much for your work. Could you talk about the bot AI and where you're seeing implementing multiple difficulty levels feature?
Yeah, so I would say that falls under the same category as a custom board. As we all know, the bots on Colonist are not the greatest. It's frustrating when you're in a game and a player quits and a bot takes over, because often the bot is not making the right moves. But we do know that there is a pretty large subset of our player base that do enjoy bot games and almost primarily exclusively play against bots. So it's one of those things that it's definitely on our timeline, but it's such a big project that we see value in creating other things first.
Okay, sounds good. All right, next question. Everybody loves to compete for something. Will there be a shown prize next to every league? I guess like for every season, like whoever's top 5, top 10, like they get prize.
Yep. So starting in season 2, I think we just had a small banner that said the top 10 players from each mode get free membership for 2 months. So that would have been the top 10 in 1v1 and the top 10 in 4-player. I'm not sure if we've sent the email out yet, but because of we weren't anticipating people sitting at the top of the leaderboards with only 10 games played, so we actually increased that to 20. So the top 20 1v1 players and the top 24 players will be getting an email soon saying that we'll be giving out the membership. Moving forward, we obviously do want to include prizes in our seasons. As we refine the ranking algorithm and get to a system that is a bit more fair play, we'll start announcing those prizes and what they'll be and at what level.
Okay. Sounds good. This is probably my favorite comment. The Colin exclamation point asks, the in-game chat is becoming abusive. 14-year-old boys are very angry. Could there be an option to turn off chat for the whole game?
There already is. It's called disable chat. When you do type / disable chat, it disables chat. On the other hand, you can click on the person's icon and then click on mute, and then that will mute that player for the rest of the game. So we already have those, but I know like the disable chat is not intuitive. Where we've designed a new interface with buttons that will help players use those commands. For example, we have the pause feature as well. When you write / pause inside of the chat, it creates, if it's single player game, it just pauses the game. If it's multiplayer game, it creates a voting pop-up where players need to vote in order to, if they agree to pause the game or not. But this is also not intuitive. It's not the best method to write a command in the chat box in order to activate a certain thing. So we're aware of that. We've designed something, and it's just, the developers have all these stuff, more important stuff to implement, more important features, fix more important bugs. So these stuff kind of get pushed later on. Like people can already use it, so it's like it's a low priority. Just finish the high priority. So we run into those type of stuff a lot. We have like hundreds of things on our plate. So yeah, they can reduce the toxicity by just muting players.
I think Colin is just looking at chat. I think Colin's just realizing he was like, "Oh my god, my mind's blown." If I really looking at the chat. So yeah, that's something I need to implement at times too. Like I said, there's a lot of angry people sometimes that play. So all right. Let's see. Look at any plan to add capability to spectate friends game through a friends list? Anybody answer that?
You said, can you repeat the question?
Any plan to add capability to spectate friends games through a friends list?
Yes, we haven't added it to, yes, I think it's going to be out on the next version. So in your friends list, you will see if they're online, it will show you what game they're playing, and then you can just click and join. And if they're in a public room, you will be able to join their public room. If it's a private room, we're not going to show you the link because maybe they just want to play with their friends, or someone else. But yeah, it's like when you see your friends and if they're playing a game, you'll just be able to spectate them, and we'll show you.
Okay, and that's I forgot to mention about the friends list. That's also a new feature too. So that's actually kind of cool. Like you see, like like if your friend someone if you had good experience with them or somebody you know, now you could check out if you want to play a game. Now it's easier for people to play a game for people you could trust that you have a good game with.
Yeah, definitely. So we've kind of iterated on the friends feature over the past couple of versions. We just added the basic version, and then we added like more and more features on top of it. We added like at the end of the game, you can add the players as friends who you played against. But then we still don't have it in the main page. So we're kind of thinking of like different designs and where we can put, like, if your friend is active, you want to see them on the main page, right? And then maybe join their game and then say hi, and then maybe give them some tactics or whatever, and then before jumping onto your own game. So these are all in the idea funnel, and then we're gonna explore like what else can we do with the friends game. We already have friends leaderboards on the leaderboard page where you can, if you have like other friends who also played like 1v1 or 4-player or Cities and Knights ranked, you can see like, your rank versus their rank, and then you can maybe create like a friendly competition between them. And yeah, we're still iterating and experimenting on the friends feature to see like how else we can get the players to socialize more and do more things with their friends.
Cool. That's exciting. That's like I said, using colonists to socialize. So you bring up an interesting point where it says Knights auto matches. Is that implemented yet or not? Or is that coming up soon?
You mean like a matchmaking ranked?
You matchmaking, right? Yes.
Yeah, so that actually launched yesterday. So if
Oh
you go to the
boy!
homepage now,
Ooh, boy.
there should be a button, Cities and Knights, at the bottom there. And if you go to the leaderboards, you should also be able to click into Cities and Knights. No one is ranked yet, which means no one has finished 10 games, but it is there and it's available.
I need to start grinding on that then. I need to start doing my MMR grind Cities and Knights too. Considering I probably play way more Cities and Knights than way more Cities and Knights than base, it seems too. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna start grinding. I might do a stream. It's coming up soon. All right, we'll get one more question. Yeah, too, and let's find one more. Let's end off with this. Can you talk about the process for testing pricing models and any potential new pay-to-play features? A lot of users seem to be more interested in paying for colors compared to maps, ranks, and ads.
Can you repeat that question?
Can you talk more about the process for testing pricing models and any potential new pay-to-play features? A lot of users seem to be more interested in paying for colors compared to maps, rank matches, or ads.
So actually, most of our players are more interested in paying for expansions. That's like our top sales. So especially with the 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 player expansions are very common. And the reason is if you got like a group of friends with 8 people and you want to play this game, you can't play it unless you have that. So it's really a blocker, and that is one reason why those are very common. And of course, Cities and Knights is very popular. Seafarers is popular as well. So expansions are the most popular. Maps and icons, skins, those are popular as well, but they're less popular. Profile pictures are probably the least popular ones out of the store. And so for our initial pricing for the expansions, maps, and icons, there was no process or testing them. We just did market research and came up with what's a reasonable price for this and implemented that. For subscription, there was a bit of A/B test going on, and it was kind of like a voting system for players where they kind of voted for the prices, which one they wanted, and believe it or not, this came out. So that's what we implemented, and we don't want to add. Obviously, we don't want to add any pay to win features, but for pay to play features, we do have some new game modes in mind that will be unique to Colonist, but they're still in the idea phase, and we have no concrete plans or timeline or anything at the moment. So that might be maybe after mobile, we might explore those parts as well.
And I also see, do you guys charge for changing your name? That was like one of the fun part of college, changing my name so I could join it.
Actually, like the reason we added price lock for changing names wasn't to make money. It was to incentivize people from changing their names. Because what happened was a player would go like put the name Vamos Cosmos and then go into every single game and swear and be like and just be toxic to the players. And as soon as he was kicked from the lobbies because he's now is a player with bad reputation, he just changed his name to something else and continued on with the behavior. So we do, of course, like try to ban and reduce karma and deal with the toxic players, but changing name made it really easy for players to be able to do bad actions without immediate consequences. So we just made it paid. So we want people definitely to be able to change their names. If they have a name that they're not happy with, we don't want them to be stuck playing like that, but we don't want them to change it all the time. So a pay to change name model was the best solution for this problem.
Yes, that is a problem too. But ruin my fun. Okay. well, thank you guys so much for coming along. I hope you guys got really great insight on about MMR, subscription, and just all the future details about Colonist too, like the mobile. That blows my mind. So that's awesome here. So thank you guys so much for thank you guys so much for coming along. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for hosting. We enjoyed this.
Appreciate you guys. So, all right. So real quick, let me just.
Thank you, Vamos.
No problem. Let me just turn off my camera. Get my other camera set up. We can do some raffles, guys. Let's get some raffles here. So hope you guys got a lot of good insight from the Colonist team too. I definitely did too. Like we'll see how the mobile version in Colonist happens full time. So, but yeah, guys, raffle time! It's raffle time. So let's see here. So we're just gonna give away Colonist coins. So so the way it's gonna work is I'm gonna just type in chat right now. Just type in chat. Do that. Just do that right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the users from the chat using Nightbot, and basically I'm gonna click a button, and basically there's gonna be a winner that pops up too. So we're gonna do let's get the number denominations again. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, type in the chat. Just do that. Literally do that. So so what we're gonna do is we're gonna give away 5,000 Colonist coins. 2 people win that. 4 people win 2,500 Colonist coins. And oh god, I'm trying to get it. And 2 people win 20,000 Colonist coins, and 1 person win 10,000. Yes. So do that real quick. Sorry, people ask me they can't chat because they're verified. I don't know where to do that. Yeah, turn on verified chat. Sorry, people text me. So you can do this quick. Sorry sorry for the delay. So where can you turn on? Where can you turn on verify chat? Ooh, yeah. Let's do. I'm doing some admin stuff that I probably should have done before. Oh shoot, this is not great. Let's say, yeah, real quick. Okay, I think I got it, guys. See. Let's see. Now can you guys chat? I'm just gonna do that. Just keep typing. Just keep typing, guys. All right. Yeah, just keep typing stuff. All right. Here we go. We're gonna do some. All right. We're gonna bring it up. Yep. There you go. Just the chat is just going down. And let's see. Do we have the raffles here set up? Yes, we do. We have the raffles. There you go. So I'm just gonna roll. So this one, first one is gonna be for 5,000 Colonist coins. 5,000 Colonist coins. So let's see. We got all these are eligible users here. So guys, we're gonna roll in 3, 2, 1. Let's roll. Who wins? Mr. Seth. Mr. Seth is the first winner of 5,000 Colonist coins. So what, guys, what we gotta do is Simon H in Colonist. He is is he a bot or no? Okay. Nope, it's not a bot. All right, guys. So message Simon H in Colonist. Go into Colonist Discord. He's there. Message him that you won. I think you have to provide your. Provide your Twitch username and your Colonist email. So provide that to Simon. Just DM him, and you'll get your Colonist coins. So, all right, let's roll for. Let's roll for 5,000 again. One more 5,000 winner. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Let's roll it. Lycan Master has won. Congrats, you won 5,000 Colonist coins. I said when I see to me, I don't think that person's bot. So stop it, Puzzles. Stop it. Stop it, Puzzles. Okay. Ready to go. 3. So this one is going to be for 25,000 Colonist coins. Sorry, guys. We decreased the amount. So ready, guys. 3, 2, 1. Genius Cow has won. Colonist 2,500 Colonist coins. So 25,000. Get you a new color if you wanted to. All right. So we're going to do the next free winners are going to be 25,000 in 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that, Serenator. You won. Is that a bot, guys? I don't know. I think that's a bot. I'm not sure. I got to report that. So. Serenator. Catan community veteran. You have won 25,000 Colonist coins, too. So, let's roll for another 25,000 in 3, 2, 1. Xe Star has won 25,000 Colonist coins. So, congrats to you. You are a winner of 25,000 Colonist coins. So, let's roll for one more time. 3, 2, 1. Raven 47259. You have won Colonist coins. So, it's 2,500. 2,500. Sorry. 2,500. Raven has won 2,500 Colonist coins here. All right, so now we're gonna go a little bit down. Sorry, we're gonna do 2,000 here. We're gonna give away 2,000 Colonist coins. All right, for 2,000 Colonist coins, it's 2,500. Sorry, that's a mistake. Apologize. I want Colonist to 20. I'm terrible with numbers at times. It is a game of Colonists. You have to know about numbers. So 2,500 and free. I mean, sorry, 2,000. This is for 2,000 Colonist coins. 2,000 Colonist coins. 3, 2, 1. Ice. Dev Legend follower. You've won. You've won 2,000 Colonist coins. So this is going to be for 2,000 Colonist coins again. So 3, 2, 1. Ariha. I hope I pronounced that right. You've won 2,000 Colonist coins. And now we're going all the way down to 1,000 Colonist coins. So for 1,000 Colonist coins, it's going to be WeakCoin. WeakCoin's won. CK Grinder WeakCoin. He's won 1,000 Colonist coins. So congrats to the winners of the Colonist coins. So we gave away a bunch of Colonist coins today. So really appreciate for you guys giving away Colonist coins. Yeah. Cool. You guys can get all your cools. Get all you guys, so reminder, go message Simon H in Discord. Message Simon H in Discord for all the winners. Find him in Discord. Go to the Colonist Discord and message him that you want. Provide your Twitch username and your Colonist email. Type that in chat right now. Simon H, message him with your Twitch username and Colonist Discord. Love talk what? So people are so interested in Simon. So guys, so do that. So all right. I think it's time to move on to the next battle. They've been waiting for a while now. Okay. So I think let's get the other guests to come in. So we got 2 other people here too. So let's make sure our guests. We got a really cool competitive Colonist panel here. So we got 4 Colonist pros here. We got Raina, Goliath, Sparrowhawk, and Donnie to come join in. I think everybody. No, we were just waiting for Donnie to come in. So we're waiting for Donnie. Hurry up! And there he is. Okay, so we're good. Oop. Sorry. So we're gonna bring all 4 of those in. They come in. Sorry for delay, guys. A little awkward delay. Happens at times. So just try and get everybody in. Just getting somebody get them in here too. So hoping they should come in. See, let me type them. Guys, come in. Okay. All right. Now they're finally in. So okay, let's introduce all of our guests for the Colonist scene. So let's just get them. How's everybody doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We're just bringing everybody in. Everybody, look at Dylan.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Just trying to do some stuff here. Quick. Do some last minute stuff here. All right, we got we have our colonist pros here. These are the people who are experienced colonists, and with Dylan, one of the biggest YouTubers out there in terms of colonist content out here. So we appreciate it too. So let's go down the line here. Let's introduce Donnie first. So Donnie, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Donnie. Actually, it's Donald in real life, but you know, my online name is Donnie. Similar enough. And yeah, I've been playing Catan since I think actually a little bit prior to the pandemic, but I started playing a lot like during that time in 2020. And I'm currently a Catan community. One of the server leads there out of 3. And yeah, also worked with Vamos a lot on streaming and on TSL, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So really excited to be here.
TSL he's referring to is the Sellers League, which is like a Discord community that DJZ has right, and Raina and Bly were in the first Seller Series final that Raina won. So just real quick, Donnie, are you still recovering from that final that you had yesterday?
Oh yeah, yesterday. I was in a in-person tournament. Vamos is actually the banker in the final game, and it was just brutal. I was on numbers that just didn't roll. Like the numbers that were rolling were like all like 6s and 9s, and those were like the exact 2 numbers I wasn't on. So.
Yeah,
yeah.
People were expecting for you to help when you were like at 4 or 5 points.
Yes. They're expecting me to help extend the game for nothing of benefit. I'm like, no, I need something here. Like, you need to give me a couple cards at least. You know.
Yeah. All right, Dylan.
What's up? I'm Dylan, or Delighted, and used to play a good chunk of competitive Catan, and I make videos and stuff on YouTube.
Raina?
Oh, my name's Raina. I just play Catan for fun during the pandemic. That's when I started playing, and I win some stuff sometimes. That's about it. Nothing special.
You won a pretty big tournament.
Yeah, one of the biggest tournaments out there.
Just $400. It's not a big deal.
Gotcha. And Sparrowhawk finally.
Yep, I am Sparrowhawk, or Wesley in real life. I've been playing Catan, the board game, for years and years, but just online the past couple of years during the pandemic. I like to play in tournaments quite regularly, and I'm also one of the moderator tournament team members on Catan community.
Okay, sounds good. So we're here to maybe talk about like the competitive scene. So I feel like there's a lot more users involved with like competitive, like especially people watching Dylan's videos and getting inspired by them, getting inspired to play more too. So like, how has it changed from last year in terms of like the Discord communities, and also like how MMR, especially like MMR with a big outburst of like growth in terms of like YouTube channels dedicated to that. So how has it changed from like the past years in terms of those 2 aspects? Anybody like to start, or
don't all speak at once. But so recently Colonist made that change of where only the first player gets the points and not the second, third. So which is pretty cool. And anybody else?
Yeah, I think like overall in the last year, that's definitely the competitive scene has grown a lot. I remember a long time ago, one of my friends, like the Groundhog, he said it's like the Catan thing. Catan's going to be experiencing like a poker boom in a way, where it's like or a lot of skill is going to start pouring into the game. Just over the last year, like people have been getting a lot better and better. There's just a lot more resources out there to get a lot better and better. And there's just a lot because the players are just overall just a lot better and better. It just allows people just to learn a lot faster. So I'd say like it's just it's if anything, it's only just getting a lot harder and a lot more difficult, which is not a bad thing at all. It's just like the skill level is definitely increasing. You're gonna see a lot more pros consistently being able to like just like clean up a tournament if there's if there's a bunch of like newer players.
Yeah, and I think it also expanded in terms of like there's a lot more variety as well, right? Like you could do the elo grind, you could go into a Discord server. There's a lot now. There's some that are like more invitational, some that are open, some that are like cash tournaments, like. and in-person tournaments are also growing. Like, it's just the entire Catan scene is just like people have a lot more optionalities now. Like, you're not limited to only playing a certain way.
Yeah, and I think that also as the Catan has grown online, it means more people are likely to play in person when they might not have before. The content creators have, like every other month, you see a new content creator rise up in the Twitch and on the YouTubes, and like showing their games, streaming, and people get more interested. I think it's very, very healthy for the game.
Okay, so you guys mentioned like in real life tournaments as well. So with me, Dylan, and Donnie, who have played in the U.S. Nationals, and Raina and Sparrow, who have played in Canadian Nationals, like how much this has like Colonist like helped and even like influenced the in real life competitive scene?
So it has changed a lot. One of the first things that we were told at Canadian Nationals was, if you roll a 7, don't talk, just block somebody. Versus when I went to the Dutch qualifiers, somebody said, if you don't block me, then I will trade you this. And then one of the players, he stood up, he went to the judges, and then he asked them, is this allowed? And they were fine with it. In terms of European and Canadian qualifiers, I feel like North Americans, we are more aggressive in our table talk. And that comes from the toxic colonist chat or any other competition. But yeah, Europeans are more chill, which was better with the jet lag, of course, when you're playing Catan.
Well,
Yeah, when you're playing in... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go, Sparrow. Sorry.
I think that online, especially with voice chat and in the text box, people are more aggressive and more likely to speak their mind than in person, because there's more of a social element of seeing someone with the body language when you're there, versus online when there's no barriers, there's not someone across the table from you that you have to look in the eye after you play Monopoly to steal or the ore. And so sometimes that aggressiveness can clash with the more casual board game night and people who like to come to tournaments for fun, where they used to before the online really took off.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about like in real life, because like I feel like a lot more of the online players are finally like discovering like these in real life tournaments. But now they're like, oh my god, like tournaments now it's like this is my chance to qualify for U.S. Nationals too. So I think there's a lot way bigger influx of people like those coming in. So don't you agree with that, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, I think in U.S. Nationals it was actually like kind of split, right? Like around half of the player base were people that have been going to these real life tournaments for a very long time, and then the other half was like online players. That was like a new influx, and yeah, you could kind of see a difference in perspective on like how people view like extortion and like port services, and like just I would say that in general online players are a little bit more aggressive. And it was actually kind of interesting how in the U.S. Nationals it ended up this year that the final table didn't really consist of any online players. And I know, like, just speaking to people that play online, like a lot of people were like kind of surprised at like how quiet they were, or, like just like there wasn't anything like crazy going on, and it was like, oh, it kind of seemed boring to watch. And that's kind of because we're so used to like that hype, that excitement in these online games where there's always like something crazy going on.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, because in the final, I think the winner spoke like 10 words in your final yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
And yeah, Dylan, how you? Because like I feel like I think you're one of the biggest like influencers of people coming to the game. So how you feel about that as well?
I mean, it feels good to know that the game is growing and stuff, and I've inspired quite a lot of people. I remember that the 2 rules at U.S. Nationals, it was like, 1, it was like no extortion, and 2, you can't say the word colonist. So just to give you an idea of like that's how much like the online scene is influencing like the competitive scene and stuff. Personally, I like it's a little bit unfortunate how they got they're like getting rid of it. Is they just don't. I think the reasoning was like it was like not very friendly to like newer players and stuff. But it's Well, I personally still think it's a part of the game, but not much you can do. But it's definitely there's a huge impact of like the online scene. It's like as Donnie said, at least like 50% of players there at US Nationals came up from online, and even the players who played at the finals they're not like they don't have like an online like username, but they still play online through Catan but they still played Catan or through like some other platforms.
Other platforms, yeah.
Other platforms.
So they're not like online players, but I mean they still play online. I guess they just don't have like a face on like Colonist or anything like that.
Or like they're not really involved in, like the Discord communities, like Eric Freeman.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Eric,
Since I know some of the finalists and stuff. I'm good friends with one of them.
Yeah. Eric Freeman, he I think he plays for Colonist, but like he's now like featuring like the Discord communities. Well,
yep. And see, like, yeah, I think I think if not all of them, or most of them, if not all of them, did play some type of online format. It's just like didn't have like a online face or personality or anything like that.
Yep. Raina, you had a question, or
I raised my hand. Yes, I was at Canadian qualifiers. I was pointed at and said, "You are an online player." So there is definitely a distinction there.
There was a bit of a controversy with like the online player label there too. Can you explain more about that? Or?
Of course, I love drama, guys. Come on, you ask for gossip and I don't spill the tea. So, from what I've heard, it's the table talk that one of the online player was and how he was playing and being aggressive. And so the turn came where player, let's say A, B, and C, they were sitting in that order. A rolled a 7. He should have stolen from player B, who's a non-online player, but he chose to rob from player C, who's the online player, and he was being aggressive during the entire game because the purity of Catan is at question. That's the most nicest way I could spill the
I mentioned it in a Cellar Show podcast with Donnie. We were thinking there might be a culture clash like in this past US Nationals and in Canadian Nationals. It definitely did happen too, with like the online players and like the players who've been there for like 5-10 years and don't really play much online. So like the culture clash did happen, I feel. So but yeah, it is interesting to see like those difference of philosophies like in US and Canadian Nationals too. But let's move on. Let's talk about like the current state of competitive time. Like you can say there's 3 main discords. We have Catan Championship, Catan Community, and whatever you want to say about King Catan is right now, it's still a Discord community with the competitive leagues, and we have that and plus MMR. So what is really the current state of like competitive Catan? Farrah, do you want to start that off?
Yes, I think that there's several options for anyone who wants to join the competitive side of Catan. There's many different divisions and ways you can find games on these discords. Where I think on Catan Champs and Catan Community and King Catan, all 3 of them have sort of seasons similar to the ones that Colonists are implementing now, where at the end of the month or season there will be a mini tournament between the top players to see who will be the number 1. And there's also several tournaments that people can join, which are advertised on Colonist website, and they're usually every weekend. And I think that all these options have greatly improved the way that people can interact with the competitive side of Catan.
Let's go with Raina, I guess.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Oh, just like with the current state of competitive Catan,
KOC is dead. Sadly, there is PL and PC, but the 2 main competitive Catan servers would be obviously, like Sparrow said, Catan Community, Catan Champs. I play in both of them. I would say for Catan Community, the weekly CNK tournaments, they attract me a lot. On a Friday night when I'm sad and lonely in my room, wearing my PJs, and I'm being the toxic table talker, I'm right there playing CNK, a Catan community versus champs. The format of so personally, I do not like grinding. 10 games, your best set out of your 10 games, and you make top 16, or you don't make top 16. So that's also very nice.
And you bring up a good point about like grinding out games, because like especially like with Catan community and Catan championship, you have to spend a lot of your time to do really well. Like 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 Dylan, like I figure you have so much time for YouTube content, like you don't really have the time to like to actually have the time to like to grind out those leagues. It's a big time commitment, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely always like a pretty big time commitment to play so many games and stuff. Yeah, as you said, like the two biggest the two biggest discords. I think that like 'cause in general, like it's like a lot easier to set up like a game just through Colonist ranked matches. But the advantages I think you get with the discords is generally have a much higher player quality, and they're also just a lot more responsive. And you can also just go through voice chat, which makes it like feel like you're basically playing in person. Like my philosophy is like always like whenever you're gonna play a game of Catan, it's like you want to try to mimic it to be to mimic it to like the real life version, right? Because and like it's like you don't ever really play real life Catan where you just don't talk to anyone and just like click buttons. That doesn't really happen that often. So I always try to use something like, at least try to make it at least slightly interactive with some type of like chat or voice chat.
And some people wish they could do voice chat as well, too. Like voice chat exclusive game too.
Mhm.
And also like with MMR, like have you guys been like using MMR, like doing MMR stuff, like doing online matches too? Like I think Dylan, you have been, but I don't know about the other three. So
Yeah, not really. I think it's like the two biggest Discord servers I think have enough to offer. I think
Yeah.
with like voice chat games and tournaments, and I mean I don't even have time to grind like either of the ranks, right? But yeah, it's like there's a lot of opportunities there. But I think for someone starting off, I think Colonist is like the elo system is amazing. It really like just helps you develop your game and helps track like your progress. Like, are you improving or not? Like, you could try out different strategies, and maybe like this is like helping your elo versus like Y is not. Like, so I think that's definitely helpful.
So Donnie brings out a great point of the communities. You're playing with the same old people over and over again. Your strategies and how you play, you know that. Versus Colonist, MMR, I don't know these people. They don't know who I am. So I can try out new stuff. And I played CNK game, ranked CNK game last night. I've lost both of them because I ended up with one table, Trissy 89, the other one, Orange
Oh,
Hat.
oh
So
god.
after that, I'm like, no, let's not play anymore.
Those are two well-known names in the CK community, and they seem to be on the CK grind as well too. So but like so we have the Discord community, you have the online matches. Is there anything you'd like to change about it? Is there anything that colonists can do to help out like these Discord communities? Or like any improvements? We'll start off with Donnie.
Yeah, so I know like Colonist recently has been like kind of thinking about doing like kind of like a cash tournament kind of thing. I think that would be nice, like potentially like collab with Discord communities on that.
Yeah.
I also think that in general, I did really like how they changed the MMR system to not really reward like second place, third place. I know that was like a huge complaint like throughout all types of Catan communities in general. And yeah, like more just more variety of like different ways to rank up. I think for like the tournament scene, like this is something that like I've realized like through playing in-person tournaments too, like it'll be really nice to have a system where instead of like it being either like top 4 or top 16, like somewhere in the middle where like certain players may get like buys, and then you have like this like semifinals where like you don't have to exactly have like 16 people. Things like that. I think that could definitely be implemented in some way in like the online scene. I think people's mindset is still kind of stuck on like you have to have like top 16 and top 4, and I think that could be changed.
Yeah, don't you agree with that, Dylan? Considering you've been playing a lot in these U.S. national and U.S. nationals too. So
Yeah, I think the systems could be changed and stuff. I think it depends quite a bit on like how big the size of the tournament is. And I think, and yeah, I think it honestly depends quite a lot on that. Since, you know, if you have like a 100% tournament, it doesn't make sense to really take the top 4 only. Because but generally, I think Colonist does a pretty good job of supporting the communities. I can't really, and also I don't really work too much with the communities and stuff. I just participate. So I can't really speak too much on the subject of like what they can do.
You bring up a good point about 100% tournament, because that's what happened with Raina's Dutch tournament. Yeah, because there was like 100 people, but they cut the top 4. that's
Yeah, that's pretty
so
bad.
Generally, what's really interesting is like a lot of these hosts for these tournaments, they're like a lot of the time, one, they don't really play competitively themselves, and it's their first time hosting, so they don't like sometimes like a lot of the like the tournament structure is pretty wonky, or like in general the tournament has like some really like whack rules and stuff. But Catan Studio is like the overarching like they're like the I guess like the people who run the tournaments and stuff. So generally whatever say whatever it is. So it's like I think like even though like you know like Catan Studio said like no extortion stuff, even if it's like legal in other countries at Worlds, they're probably going to make it illegal in you know at Worlds, unfortunately.
Well, you do bring up a good point, because like we did hear, me and Donnie did hear, and I think Sparrow and Raina did hear as well, like extortion was banned, but they haven't changed the rules in the rule book. Like they give us like a tournament kit, but they haven't changed the rules. It's still at 2020, which is not including up their rule book. So it like there's still extortion happening in these tournaments. It's just like if it's Catan's doing them.
Well, it's they want to soft ban it without like actually banning it, since like there's not like actual grounds that they can actually ban it on. So they're trying to like they need to try to come up with some like legal loopholes to make it like illegal. But basically like it's more like a culture reason why they're trying to get rid of it. They just don't like it, which is you know it's unfortunate.
And I think also too, one thing I would love to see more, like I'm doing this with Quackfest, is like a lot more CK, like incentivized stuff. I think CK is really growing. I think like Dylan, I don't know if you play CK, but like Sparrow and Raina and Donnie play CK. I think if there was like a bigger influx of CK content, don't you think, Sparrow, that would be really cool to see?
Yes, and even in the past few months on our community, we've noticed that CK has continued to grow and grow as more people have become familiar with it. We've even started to play more of like duos where 2 people are against 2 people, and they're trying to find the team who's going to win the CK game, and that's been a whole lot of fun. And I think like these like different formats, we've been able to make them work on Colonist. But it would be great to see some way of like more customization in the lobbies to find like more innovations that we can find within the game of Catan. Because I think there's plenty out there, and we're just scratching the surface. Even the past couple of years because in person you can't play 2v2 because you're talking to someone and they hear you. Other team, you can't whisper in their ear. It's something which is only able online.
Well, you could do like the cup method, like just drink a cup or something like that. But you do bring a good point, because like 2v2 CK, I mean, that's an interesting concept that Catan community has been popularized there, and that's a lot of fun. And that'd be really cool. I'd like to feature like that type of content. It's not like a competitive aspect, but like featuring its content too. So I got a question for Raina too. So I think as like one of the most like prominent ladies, females out there in the Colonist, like in the Colonist competitive scene. Like you've won the Sellers series, that was like $400 too. Like you've won KOC Cities Nights 3 times, 3 or 4 times. 4. Sorry, 4. So I think that's a record. Like you're one of those prominent females out here in the Colonist competitive scene. So how do you feel that? What's it like to be like that in like what in a male dominated platform?
So I am the token female player. But there are lots of other females who are really good at the game. If I were to name, so from Catan community, it would be like Farmer or Alex and Sarah, Mel. They're always there. Gigs, like there's so many females there versus Catan Champs. There's Carm, and oh god, Cat in the Hat. There's so
Catherine,
many.
I think.
Yeah, she recently started playing as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, and then Ice Queen, who has 2 wins at your league, Quackfest, and Wowza used to be amazing when she used to play at KOC early days, but I don't think it's male dominated anymore.
Okay.
There are a lot of females right now, and they are good female players. And even in Canadian qualifiers, I think in top 16 there were about 3 females who made top 16,
Mhm.
2 or 3. Sparrow, if you remember, just jump in. But
Yes, and the winner of Canadian Nationals was female.
So two females in a row have won Canadian Nationals. We got Starbot and Elsie. Yep.
pretty cool.
So like you were mentioning all the females, so that's really cool. You gave all the ladies a shout out too. But I think this in terms of them, I feel like we mentioned this in a previous stream we had. Ladies play, I feel like CK a lot more than base. Don't you feel?
I agree. It's because of the man just keeps on going blah 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 blah, and then this other person goes blah blah blah. It's annoying. It's too much to hear in a base game, and in base there's a lot more table talk. I think females just want to use their brain and make moves and move on with their lives and not deal with the whole talk.
That's a common thing I've heard, but I do find like when I look like in like a Catan Championship CK leaderboard versus like a Catan Championship base leaderboard, I think discrepancy of like females is pretty big in my opinion. I mean,
Also, females are more strategic than males, so C and K is a better game than base. So
I love C and K. I love C and K. So all right. So so let's go to delay here. So you're probably the biggest content creator out there. Like people watch your YouTube videos. Like your biggest video has 1 million views, the New York City one. Like I was in that video, by the way, and also had one of the best best moments when Steve goes Dana. So love that. So but as like as a content creator, what's like your biggest step for anybody trying to start off?
I'd say, yeah. I'm so sorry. I'd say number one thing is just go ahead and just start. So one of my other jobs I do is I'm a YouTube consultant. But in the Catan niche specifically, there's actually it's what we call like a blue ocean. So there's still like I know there's a lot more people who are coming up, but there's if you just like literally just start making Catan videos and stuff and just like start posting, you will get a lot of views just because there is a demand for that. And that's why we're also seeing a lot of creators just start popping up a lot more just because there is that demand. So it's like you can just start making Catan videos and then like even if they're like really low quality, you will get views as long as it's like like at least like semi-watchable and stuff. And even if it's like not like even if it's like low quality and stuff, as long as you just improve over time, that's what really matters. And so there is like I think also something people get wrong a lot is it's actually not very much a competition. What happens is it's like when the more creators there are, the more healthy it is for the entire ecosystem because they're just creating more interest. But yeah, generally I'd say it's like it's like a blue ocean. Like there's a reason why you can start getting a bunch of views, and it's because like there is a high demand for this. So yeah, it's like I'll just start creating just because like people there is a high demand for it, and just yeah, and there's not enough supply basically. So just go ahead and start creating.
Yeah, there was a video I've watched. I'm not gonna mention the name, but there was a mention where like there is like you like Dylan like showcasing your games or showcase your experience. And you have Hakuna Matata who is like doing advanced level like tactics and that stuff. But there's like I don't think there's like really something like in the middle for like beginners or like someone trying to get really good too. So there is some like holes I see like in terms of content creation too. Can anybody else like think of like any other ideas for like content? To start off with Sparrow again.
Yeah. I think that just a mixture of learning new ways of like. I think trading is one of the most important things for beginners to learn because that's something which has definitely developed the past few years. I think there have been videos which have touched on different like strategies and subjects, and like even like the port strategy or weak sheep strategy, these sort of things which people are more familiar with now. But for someone who's just coming in to the scene, they might not be familiar with it, and learning these like ways to play the game, ways to interact with people, I think are important. And that's like, I think that's the intermediate step which is missing, is like right after beginner, when you've learned the rules, learning the different ways to win the game, I think is an important thing for new people after learning.
Okay.
And that's something which new content creators can try to fill.
Anybody else want to pitch in with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's already like some headway going to that with a lot of Catan classes going on in the Discord communities. I know both Catan Committee and Catan Championships have classes that they're doing like almost every weekend for both base and CNK. So I think those are like more intermediate steps, as Sparrow said, where you know the game, but you're trying to improve, and you might not be ready for like the Hakuna Matata like deep dive videos where he goes through like every single card and like all this stuff yet, but like you're able to like advance your game like a little bit like slowly, right? So I think that's already kind of out there. I know not really that much in the YouTube space. I think it's more on Twitch, so it'll be nice to see that also like transfer over into the YouTube space potentially. Another thing that I think maybe like I personally really enjoy seeing and playing as well is like kind of like more like wacky games, I would call it, like basically like things like 2v2s as Sparrow mentioned, or like games where you're required to like coastal setup or something of that nature, or like even like different game modes like Seafarers. I don't see a lot of content on that, for example, or like some of the cool colonist maps that they have, like Black Forest. Like it might not be like that strategic, but I think it'll make for like good content that'll get people like interested in like, hey, there's like other versions of Catan that was like kind of created from like the ground up by community members that are being played.
Good thing you mentioned about like wacky games. I remember one of the fun wacky games I did was one time I did a game with Hawkeye, Catan Man, and who else as it, and we did a game where if you said like a word, you have to do a punishment. And one of the punishments said like before you roll, be like, what would Delia do? Like before you roll. We had some funny reactions, all for love.
Indeed.
All right. So let's move on to a little fun puzzle that the Colonist can provide. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Just look in the voice chat here. See if I can. Sorry, I'm trying to find the picture. So all right. So I have a picture up here. A feature up here. I have a picture up here of a board here. And what do you guys think about like placements? What would you do here? In terms of like where would you place first or second? Let's start off with Dylan here.
So just looking at this board immediately, I see that there's only 2 good ore spots. Basically it's like the 5, 9, 10 and the 4, 9, 11. And I'm also saying that there is because it's a centered ring desert board, there's a good chance you're going to be getting like one of the coastal wheat spots, like the 8, 8, 10. So if I had to pick immediately, I think 5, 9, 10 looks good, but one of the problems is you might not get the 3, 1 port. You might be if someone takes the 8, 4, 3. But on instinct, I'll probably take the 5, 9, 10, considering that there's a lot of wood on the board, and you can still always take the 8, 10 when it comes back to you. And so those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think 6, 4, 3 would be coming back though. No, I don't think it would. That would be a great spot.
No, I don't think it'll be back. I'm just thinking I think you get the 8, 10 or the 8, 3.
Okay.
Some variation of that. And I think you will get the 3, 1 port if someone takes like, let's say the 8, 4, 3 and points to the right.
Gotcha. So for second pick, would you try to like get the ore here, like the other 9 ore spot to lock it out, or you try to go like maybe focus on production with the 10, 9, 5?
Are you asking me again, or are you on?
Anybody could pitch in here.
I might go for the 8, 10, 3 or 8, 3, 4 because you're locking out the brick from everyone else, and there's a lot of different pairing spots of that on the way back, especially with the wood and the sheep. There's a 6, 4, 3, 5, 9, 10. I think the 9, 4, 11 might get taken by third or fourth, and the 9 is very likely to get blocked a lot later in the game.
Yeah, I do worry about a3-10 giving an opening for somebody with 6-3-4. I feel like if you do 10-a3, you have to point to the right to defend that.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually somebody could do a4. That's a interesting thing. So,
but although one thing with the problem with that spot is that there's very high wheat on the board, so you might want to take resources which complement that rather than wheat on the first way around.
So I guess you would leave like 4-9-11, which is I think a really good spot for like third or fourth here. You know, it's middle of the board.
Yeah, I think second is like pretty tough here, but like one of the things I kind of don't like about the 9-4-11 line is that I actually don't think your road pointing anywhere would really lead to anything, right? So it'll be like a wasted road on a second settlement because someone's probably taking the 6-3-4, and likely someone takes the 5-11-6-2. I mean, you could argue the 5-6-12 is better, but you really can't like tell. And even if someone takes that, like I don't think you get any openings anywhere. So. Yeah, that's kind of why like I think I would lean towards not taking the 9-4-11 here, even though yes, giving third that spot is pretty good to give them the or. But yeah, I think it's probably either 10-3-8 to lock out brick. Although there's still one more brick spawn at 3, or actually just trying to go for like good production and take the 10-9-5. And I think you should have the 3-1 point of 9-12 like pretty secured. I don't think anyone would place there.
Would you guys prefer to be first or second, early position, or like a later position? Let's go with later. You would say, Raina?
Later. For this board, absolutely later.
Okay. Do you think...
Yeah, I agree. Later.
Fourth, though, what would you think of getting? Would you try like a port strategy? Or I'm trying to think what... Maybe... I'm trying to think what would be left for fourth here.
You can lock a lot of the boards by going on either side of the 5 or the 6 on the right hand side for fourth.
Yeah, I think you could probably do like a double 2-1 port strategy for fourth, something along that line.
6-3-4, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like 6-3-4 and 3-10-8 if that's open, or like 6-3-4 if that's open. Like I think there's a good amount of options actually for fourth.
I think this is also a challenge for like a new player, like trying to figure out what to do with if there's no great ore spots later on. I think that's kind of a challenge. So I feel like you try to prioritize production more if that's the case, or do you try to do something else?
I would say, okay, so what did we decide on as a first player? They're going
5,
9, 10 at the bottom, so brick, ore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second player, they're 8, 10, 3, right? And what did the third player pick in this situation?
This is a tough part.
9-4-11.
9-4-11 you could do. I think 9-4-11. I think I would try to get the ore, personally.
I think it's really, really hard here to predict what the second player would take. Like second and third would take. It like I feel like every different player would have a different idea, right? Like there's like a good like 4 spots that you can make arguments for.
I think if 6-5-12 is available as my fourth player, I would go there. With the road 9-12, real crate. Hopefully no one's a real crate on this board.
I don't think it's viable. Nice. I don't think it would happen too. So. Yeah, this is a tough, because I feel this is a good board in terms of like there could be different spots. Somebody could do 10-3-8. Somebody could do 4-3-8. Like those like little like shifts and like placements kind of affect the board a lot, because like with 4-3-8 it leaves a 10 open. With 3-10-8 so it leaves a4 open. You have to consider like where you're gonna leave like for coastal spots too, like where you're gonna leave open.
Yeah, I think this is like one of those boards where like if you put it into like a real life tournament where it's like repeated and like 10 different tables or whatever, like each one would look different, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So
how do you guys like the sheep board on this board versus 3-for-1 port?
I love sheep. I love sheep board.
Yeah. I think fourth player could go for a sheep board strategy.
I think the problem with that is so like if someone, let's say, takes a 6-4 and the like it's either the 5-9-10 guy is going to take the 8-4 to block it off, or if it's not like that, if someone takes the 8-4-3, I think that the table is pretty incentivized to not give the 6-4-11 guy the sheep port, and they're probably going to feed it. So I think it is good if you can get it, but if you have a table that'll work against you to make sure you don't get it, then it's tougher.
Yeah.
But if you can get it, it's very, very strong.
But then you have the 3-4-1 port to rely on.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a nice backup. I do think the 6-4-11 is like a very strong spot overall.
Good. Well, that was a great discussion, guys, about that board. I mean, this board are provided by Simon too, and like there was a lot of differing opinions about that board, which makes it for a really good board. So, all right, thank you guys for that. We're gonna move on to some Q&A questions. So, here, so guys, go to the Pigeonhole link here. I'll type the command again, but if you got questions for these pros here, go to the Pigeonhole link. I'll type it. I'm trying to find my damn chat here. So, type in the Pigeonhole link. So, guys, if you got any questions for Raina, Delighted, Donnie, or Sparrowhawk, ask them in that Pigeonhole just right now. So, this is kind of like a personal question for myself that I want to give out first. What's your best advice for like any new player that's trying to get into Catan and that stuff? So let's start off with Dylan. Yeah.
I'd say watch my videos.
I think so too. I think so too.
Okay, as a new player, yes, you could learn from Delighted and Hakuna Matata. Like, they're great players, but also try and figure out what works for you, because you might not be the best table talker. Like, and be like you can't be the next Delighted. There's only one Delighted. So try and figure out who you are and play to your strategy.
Okay. Let's this is an interesting question. Can you guys describe what you do to regulate yourselves during difficult games or hot moments so you don't lash out? Donnie, let's go with Donnie first for this.
I'm laughing because this happened just yesterday. I had a really terrible game. I think Bonos probably told me to like calm down, like at least like 2 times.
It was actually 2 times. It was.
Yeah, it was probably 2 times. Yeah, I think one of the things that like really works. I guess in real life you can't really do this online. Like someone actually called like a bathroom break at the table after we got into like a a debate over some type of trade. I don't even remember what it was, right? But like I think that stuff kind of helps, like just to like calm down the atmosphere a little bit, like look away for a few minutes. Obviously you can't do that online. So the coping mechanism for online games is going to be a little bit different. I think sometimes you just kind of have to like just mute the chat for a little bit, like if it's really getting like too much. I don't think I've ever ran into that on an online game. I think also part of the reason is because like the timer, right? Like you can't actually have a discussion over a certain amount of time because that person will just time out. And I think that happened like infamously to like Hakuna Matata in a TSL game. He was trying to talk through everything, and like things just like timed out on him. So like you can't really rely on that online. But I think in person, yeah, I think like that bathroom break actually helped a lot almost.
I think it did cool down, and then like I think it was like you and Bigger Summer were like very angry at each other because and then like they went to the bathroom break and you're like having a cordial conversation. So it did like simmer down. I mean, but I do understand why you're frustrated. You're helping out when really you were just, I thought you were dead in the water in that game. So like, why should you help out? You just open the game and faster. So yeah, that is a very interesting point. Anything else? Anybody else want to pitch in on that question or no? I think that is an important topic. Yeah.
So a game is not the death of your day or whatever.
Yeah.
So just if you're dead last, just go through it, click buttons, go through it, and after the game's over, take a break, de-stress. Like a game shouldn't make you so upset that you're lashing out at random people online. It's not nice. Don't do it.
No, it's not. So, and there's times where it does happen to me. So, Just think happy thoughts. That's all I think.
Happens to everybody. You know how much I hate people.
Some people. Somebody has a really loaded question. Who is the Magnus Carlsen of Catan? Ooh, that's a very loaded question. Barrow, do you have one or no? The Magnus Carlsen of Catan.
I'd say currently probably the U.S. national champion, Wu Peng. He did incredibly well, and I'd say currently right now him. Online, I'm not sure. There's so many options.
Yes. They say Malm King, say Hukunsada.
I'm gonna say Young Naija. That guy does magic.
Yeah. You say
Yeah, I think
Nah, it's not me. I'd say I'd also vote for Young Naija. He's someone who just I don't really like try to get good anymore, but I'd always go to him for advice and like hey, like how to screw this game, and he just like rip my games apart and stuff. But yeah, like he's always just very, very insightful. Probably one of like the most analytical, strongest players I ever know. And yeah, I have to say in terms of just like pure decision making and analytical skills, it has to be him.
Yeah, I would say from like analytical skills, I would also go with Young Naija. From like more like table interaction, I would go with Bo. I think he's just like really creative about like how you could like lay out your cards and like do all these type of deals to like slow down the leader. Does that in even like casual games I've played with him, and yeah, it really helps. So those are my two picks.
Try to remember how many cards we were throwing at you yesterday from Bo. That was a thing he does.
Oh man, I think So like Bo laid out like 7 cards on the table, his entire hand, and then Big Red Swimmer laid out like another 6 on the table, his entire hand. I laid out 5 on the table, my entire hand. So collectively, we had 18 cards just to build, just for Bo to build 3 roads. And I think I ended up with 2 cards. Like I got 2 cards back for that trade, and I think Big Red Swimmer basically got like nothing back. But yeah, it was like all just to like stop the leader, right? And I think that like without Bo there, I'm not sure if the table would have thought of the same thing, right? Like we would have probably looked at our cards and be like, I don't think it's possible to take road. He just wins. Like that was it's just that creative element. I find it really rare to see in many players. So that's something really unique about Bo.
And that you bring up a good point about like in terms of like creativity, because like it's I feel like you need somebody like the same wavelength as you to like to understand what you're trying to do. And like when you deal with a new player, be like, what the frick? I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't want to do this. Like I feel like you do need player like the same wavelength. That's like the tape.
So I think it worked out like in his favor yesterday that the person in the lead was like the more quiet person, right? Because had it been like, let's say it was like me or Andrew in the lead, I'm not sure if Bo would have been able to, make the same effect, because that person may not really be on the same wavelength, or like they may not like this style of gameplay, right? So you have to also like take that into account.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing is in 2023, there's going to be a rule that you do not display your cards on the table. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
I feel like anything that like that's like something like that, they'll find a way to ban it. That seems to happen on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, I feel. Let's bring up this question. Alex in Auburn was asking this question about how you feel about the chance versus skill aspect. Would you support a third dice mode in Colonist that allocates dice cards without dice? Removes the chance of the game. So first let's talk about the chance versus skill. What do you feel about that in terms of like Colonist? I mean playing the game.
So if I'm playing in real life, 8s could be like, and I'm not on 8, it's rolling. The leader just crushes everybody, wins. Online, the same thing might happen. I mean, you just accept it and try to be as creative as Bo.
Okay. So you're saying there's more of a chance? Like, what's the percentage of chance actually? How you feel? Like, how much percent chance versus skill? Let's start with Delide.
I think there's actually quite a bit of skill inside the game, and there's quite a lot of control you can exhibit inside this game. Like I remember, like this is like early, like 2019 or 2018. on like Bo and online platform. He's able to like win 21 games in a row. And like he's always like he's like in the super high ranks of the grandmaster of a grandmaster. And just like Bo is able to like his tournament record is like it's like 19-1 if you just include New York and it's like U.S. nationals and stuff. And even just for me, like out of my last 5 live tournaments, I've won 4 of them. So it's like there is I truly believe there is like a high degree of skill that you can control. It's hard to quantify, but like, and also I think that the degree of skill it gets smaller and smaller the better your opponents get. But if you're better than all your opponents by a significant amount, then I think a large portion of the time you should be able to win.
Sure. I think it's like more. I think it's more 75-25, 80-20. What do you think, Donnie, about that?
Yeah, I would think it's probably around 80-20 as well. I think that if you play against people with similar skill levels, it's almost like gonna be equal chances, right? But chances are you're gonna be in a table where that's not the case. And I feel like in most cases where and I was telling Vamos this yesterday too, like in a tournament, when I get seated on a table where I don't recognize any of the names at all, I almost always win, right? But then when I get seated on a table where I recognize most of the names, like I'm like, oh, like this person plays online, this person I met at like US Nationals, then you kind of have to grind that game. So I think like I would say the luck actually depends more on like who you're placed against versus like the dice rolls. And like obviously there are games where the dice rolls are really, really lopsided. And I think that happens in a small percentage of the time, but a lot of times like it just so happens to be in like a high stakes game or like something like that where it becomes like really memorable, right? So like people get fixated on it. Like I remember there was a CNK game I played on Quackfest where like the 10 rolled like once and I was on coordinated 10s and I was like fixated on that for like a week, right? Like it just you just remember the bad games, but then like I've probably also had like a lot of good games where I'm on coordinated 10 and it's just like banged out like crazy and like probably just like killed the table. But like that's just like kind of like breezes past you, while the game where like you expected a roll and it never did, you're like, oh man, like that really sucks. And if it's like a finals game or something like that, then it becomes even more memorable, right? So
yeah, that you do bring. I kind of do remember the games that I have bad experience more than. I mean, there's some good games I like to watch, like replay, but like you do think about the moments that like, oh, like why do that decision? Like, oh my god, I can't believe it did that. Like, and then the experience going through that, like, yeah, I don't know, yeah, that it's like being competitive. Like you do remember like moments that that kind of hurt. Yeah, that hurt. Yeah. So, but let's go into the second part of that question. Like he was trying to figure out like a third dice mode that like it's like balanced dice but with cards. Like, do you think like you will like something like that as part of like the dice mechanism in the game? Start off with Sparrow.
No, I think that the chance is part of the game, and you can't take that away. Would the cards be in this person's hand, or would that be like a deck of cards which are like virtually shuffled?
I think So I saw the suggestion. It's like some weird I don't say weird. It's an algorithm where like you allocate resources based off the pips of where you're in. I don't know how to fully explain it, but yeah, it's
artificially it's an artificial normal distribution.
Yeah,
where it's like if like 8s haven't rolled in a long time, you're gonna start seeing a lot more 8s.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, as I said, Dylan hits on the spot, like just artificial. So yeah,
I think it basically leads to like more tracking mechanisms almost, or like maybe a higher skill gap, but I'm not really sure if it's like the skill that people are looking for, right? Like as what Dylan just said, like there's possibilities where you could almost like predict the next roll. Then like you're like, oh, I haven't seen 8s in a long time, but it's very probable. Now I'm gonna make sure I place my robber on the 8, so like my opponent doesn't get that roll, right? So like you add that kind of like I guess more like statistical / like analytical element to it, but then you lose like part of the social element of the game. Yeah.
I just feel like with myself, like Catan, like the playing around the dice, that's part of the game. Like, yes, the dice could go wild in one aspect of the distribution, but I feel like that's just part of the game. And I feel like if you make it like a normal distribution type thing, I just feel like I just feel like it removes like an intro aspect of the game, like predicting dice rolls and that stuff. So, all right, we're gonna wrap up this panel here too. We got a couple more questions. Just real quick, do you guys got any upcoming tournaments coming up online or in real life? Well, I know Raina's thinking about hosting a tournament.
I am. I'm still trying to finalize the location, but February 18 around Cogswell and Danforth and Cogswell.
Yep.
If you're in Toronto, that's like the intersection. Just trying to log that up. Hopefully in December after Worlds, but still trying. And you will see the beautiful Sparrowhawk there, hopefully.
See, he's like, yeah, I'll be there too. Any other tournaments for you guys, Donnie or Dylan?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably be going to a New York one that Andrew actually just announced yesterday. I think it was December 10th and 11th, and Vamos, you'll be there too. So
more than likely. I mean,
I'm hoping to be able to make it. And then I actually have a work trip going to Seattle in January, so I'll probably hit up the tournament there too.
And I can only hope Mr. Beast, please come to our tournament. I mean, some people have been begging him to come for that New York City tournament. So, anything for you, Dylan, coming up in the future or no?
Probably just more like online tournaments and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna end up with one more question too, and this is a big discussion that me and Raina have talked about a lot. What do you guys think about pumpkin soup? Have you ever seen it before, or no? Have you? What do you think about pumpkin soup? Have you ever seen pumpkin? Let me bring up a picture real quick. No, me and Ray like to talk about pumpkin soup, and yeah.
Okay, it's October. Everywhere you go, you see pumpkin whatever. So me being fancy and wanting to try new stuff, I bought a pumpkin puree and I tried to make muffins. It wasn't the best. It went in the garbage. And then I thought, oh, what do I do with the leftover muffin? Let's try and make a pumpkin healthy soup. So I added carrots, everything. And then Vamos made fun of me.
Well, a bunch of us did. So I'm trying to pull up a picture here. Let's see here. Yeah, let me pull up this picture here. I got it up.
Excited while he's picking up the picture. Where are your glasses, man?
Where are my glasses? Oh, just right in front of me. I can
look cool.
I look better with glasses or without.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you think about pumpkin soup?
I don't see anything wrong with it. I put butternut squash soup many times, and I'm sure pumpkin soup can't be that different.
Yeah, I'm down to try it. Like it looks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is much more.
I've tried before. It's actually not bad.
It's a much more warm reaction that we had with our group that we had. So, well, Raina, I hope you're happy about that. That people like pumpkin soup. So, well, thank you guys so much for the panel, too. Great to get all your insights about this competitive Colonist scene and this community. So, guys, so Sparrow and Donnie are admins of Catan community. Please check them out. Let's get the Discord link here. Yeah, definitely check them out. The Catan community. They run tournaments every week. They also have like monthly football. So guys, let's invite them. And we're also gonna invite Catan Championship. They had a massive tournament there. Dylan, you made the semis, but how did the semis go?
I got to 9 points, but I couldn't take it down. So it's unfortunate, but these things happen.
Who won that game actually?
Some guy. I don't exactly.
Not delighted. Remember. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Not me.
Not delighted.
So yeah, they have also a competitive Catan monthly leagues as well too. So, and we'll bring up the King of Catan server too. Their main focus is with their Premier League and their Premier Competitive League. It's where basically you I think you have to go sign up at kingofcatan.com. That they're mostly that's their main focus of just like a high quality competitive league. So guys, check those Discord communities out. Let me find the king here. Right, but guys, thank you so much for being part of this panel too. And yeah, thank you guys for getting also. So appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for hosting.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And let's go back. Oh wow, I hope you guys got a lot of camera again. I hope you guys got a lot of insightful like insight from them, and like it's really good to hear like all the different about like topics about the game, right, the scene and all the different core communities. So really great insight for them. I really appreciate that for all. But that's it. That's all for Colonist Con 2. Hope you enjoyed Colonist Con 2. I have blast again, hosting again. There's no more raffles. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the most coins I can give. I'm sorry, guys. I can't give any more coins. Really appreciate for you guys watching this. We got a lot of activity in the chat channel, so also see all the activity, different periods. I know you guys are excited about the coins too, but I just want to give a shout out for my Twitch channel. Please, if you're interested, give me a follow at Vamos Cosmo 719 Gaming. I'm on Twitch. Let me tag me. Yes, thank you, real quick. I am pretty sexy. Thank you. I'm also on Instagram as well, so guys, check me out there. I actually have my own Discord as well. So guys, I have like all damn media suite here. So guys, check out that too. The Discord I've been very involved in. I've been running my own season night league called Quackfest. Donnie is in that league. It's a competitive season night league, but also just have fun in that league. So I've been streaming matches for that. So hope you guys could check that out as well. And like I've been giving updates. I've been giving updates for my national championship adventures. I was just in a U.S. national qualifier. I crapped the bed. I didn't win any game. It's okay. It happens. I'm not the best old. So, but yeah, I'll be giving updates for like my U.S. national qualifier updates. So yeah, you guys get updated with that too. But yeah, guys, check me out on Twitch, Instagram, and Discord. So please check it out. So, but thank you guys for watching too. Like, thank you so much for checking in. Thank you for Colonist for hosting it. Want to give a big shout out to especially Simon. You met him. I mean, he's probably the talk of town. My God, I'm still looking at chat. But thank you so much to Simon for organizing it. He's the one that reminded me to do tasks and just to push me along to get through Colonist Con. So really appreciate his help with getting this organized too. So this wouldn't happen without his help. So I really appreciate it too, and especially all the artwork. Thank you to Demi. They do Esquaroof. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong. But thank you, Jeff, for joining the panel. So, and thank you to Raina, Delighted, Donnie, and Sparrow for being part of the competitive panel too. So thank you to everybody to make Colonist Con 2022 happen. Really appreciate it too. But I think it's time to sign off, guys. So guys, play more Colonists. Yeah, Season Nights autos, like they're live now. So get your MMR going for Season Nights. The on matches too. But guys, play more Colonists, guys. Take care. Bye bye.